in Iran. The next speaker would be Jaleh Tabrizi. She has done her research on the pollution of waters in Irani Azerbaijan. Thank you, Ms. President. Before anything, I want to thank Südwind for the opportunity it has given us. I want to speak about the pollutions in the waters of Azerbaijan. Environmental pollutions are a serious problem because of manipulation of nature, because of the increasing trend in air, dust pollution in big cities like Tabriz. We should intensify our efforts to solve this problem. My report about water pollution and also the wastewater of complexes is collected, deposited in the Talkherud River outside the city. Talkher River used to be a main waterway and a tourist attraction in Tabriz. Today, it's one of the most crisis-ridden rivers because of these pollutions. Entry of urban and industrial and agricultural wastewater into the Talkher River will not only lead to environmental crisis, will also hurt the health of the people there. The wastewater, the urban wastewater, is a serious polluter. Today, Talkher River has become a place to lead wastewater. From the other point, the industrial factories working in the west of Tabriz, creating very heavy and dangerous material, has led to more pollution. Every day, on average, 160,000 liters of wastewater is put into Talkher River. Talkher River is in the middle of many industrial factories and agricultural fields on its other side. So the water of factory is put into these farms with thick pipes. Hossein Javanpur, a health expert at the Tabriz TV, said that this leads to a lot of microbes, and as they go to the river, this increases the height. Javanpur adds, diseases like cholera, hepatitis B, and many skin rashes and eye problems can be gotten through this as epidemics and can seriously threaten the health of those living around. The head of the monitoring department of the Environment Organization of the East Azerbaijan province adds about the pollution of Talkher River. Based on the results of the laboratory, this is the most polluted region. The pollution is much more than the standard. This authority said that the wastewater's drainage in Talkher River has also led to ecosystem problems. It's threatening the ecosystem there. Talkher River is one of the most important rivers in the East Azerbaijan province and the biggest river that leads to the Urumia Lake. Up till now, there has been nothing done to solve the problems of wastewater in Tabriz. So all the executive authorities, including the Governor General Office, the wastewater, the health network, and the agricultural jihad, are responsible for leading to health problems. The second thing I want to talk about is the pollution of water in Ardabil province with radioactivity material. Based on the research by the World Health Organization, Ardabil, Meshkinshar, Nemi, based on their population, have some of the highest cancer rates in Iran, and these are digestive cancers. Most of them are in the Qazi Tabatabai Hospital in Tabriz and Imam Khomeini Hospital in Tehran. They're being chemotherapy there. Many people around Sabalan have basically suffer from cancer, and any news published about the radioactive pollution of the waters around there and the increasing rate of the people who are sick there is suppressed by the security and police officials inside the country and is censored by them. The reason for the pollution of the waters around Ardabil with radioactivity issues is because of the uranium extraction by SANA, which is a new energy organization. Dr. Asghar Pirzadeh, the only expert in Ardabil who works on cancer, has published on the reason of the high cancer rates around Sabalan. Why is it that it's number one in the Middle East there? The results of this study are clear. He has been warning about this for a long time. He has been warning the government authorities for a long time about this. His work to prevent this human catastrophe, which could have led the effects for 100 years, led to death for him. Dr. Asghar Pirzadeh, he believed that soon there would be a human catastrophe around Ardabil, and most infants will be born with mental defects. After the uranium was discovered around Sabalan in 2006, Amin Mobahedi published a letter and asked the authorities to stop the pollution of environment. Amin Mobahedi, after writing an article, was arrested, charged with disrupting the public order. After he was freed from prison, he felt threatened with his life. From there, you could not talk about uranium or radioactivity. This was banned. It was a security issue. Basically, Dr. Asghar Pirzadeh continued what Amir Mawahedi had started as a journalist. He was doing it as a professional ontologist. He had led to believe that the increasing rate of cancer was there for a reason, for the radioactive pollution. This material free isotopes after hitting the rain, and the waters that come from Sabalan will be polluted. The third point is about Kaveh Soda affair, the pollution of waters around in Maraghe and villages around. Kaveh Soda is a factory near Maraghe. It has a lot of material, industrial material, and creates a lot of things that are used in glass making. Kaveh Soda creates a lot of material there for glass making. They store them in open pools. After flooding happened, the pools were broken and the poisonous waters were destroyed the houses and the chicken coops and the wells of people around. The poisonous material had gone so far as 12 meters inside the ground. The villages around had a soft dust, and gardening was their main thing. Kaveh Soda factory was the main thing behind this. The trees that were far from this also don't give out fruits anymore because of the pollution in the air, and the insects have been destroyed, and the trees don't bear fruits anymore. Ammonia was put in the air by this factory. This company, this corporation, recently gave up to the pressure of the people who were protesting against the wastewaters, and established pipes to send this wastewater to the Urumia Lake. And this itself was considered another catastrophe. Environmental experts believe that you can't even do agriculture there anymore, based on the other information we have gotten. The skin of all the workers of these factories, because of touching dangerous material, was under heavy exposition. And even the fingerprint machines used for workers couldn't actually identify the fingerprints because the skin was destroyed. Many trials, many tests of the waters around show that because of the kava soda's poisonous material having found their way into the waterways, the waters have been polluted, and because still using of the bottled water has not been really common in this area, most people use the very same water. Workers who work in this complex or who used to work there usually have breathing problems and digestive problems and liver problems. Especially this is true with children and infants who are exposed to heavy infections. It is said that the factory's activity has stopped in the region. And the last thing I want to talk about is the problems that come from the drying out of the Urumia Lake. The drying out of Urumia Lake, the biggest environmental catastrophe, not only in Iran but in other countries 500 kilometers near the article, because there are salt attacks that come outside, and after that, because there would be basically a surplus of salt, and because of wind it will go everywhere. We do know that 40 villages in the east of the lake have become depopulated, and authorities say that the county of Azerbaijan which is very close to Urumia Lake's basin, has been habitually attacked and vanished by the salt attacks. Rezapur Arab says that the salt percentage in the Urumia Lake is more than 10 billion cubic meters. This important salt is more than the entire world needs salt. But getting up this salt will lead to 250 years. And keeping cost of Urumia will create a lot of money for the Iranian government. But if you cannot successfully solve the problem of the Urumia Lake, all this salt could threaten the environment and the life of humans and other animals. In the news conference, we have heard that infections, asthma, and other infections, and heart diseases, have increased. Mehdi Ahmadi, a member of the Urumia Lake headquarters, said to ILNA that the health ministry doesn't do enough to go over the results of the Urumia Lake draining out. He said, around Lake Urumia, because of the dust that exists that has come from the dry parts of the lake, will lead to serious health problems, including blood pressure problems. and it can affect people's sight, lead to serious skin rashes and eye problems. Skin rashes are one of the serious problems there. These authorities said that many cancerous diseases can intensify the region because of the salt problems. People do speak about the water being too salty in Azerbaijan. 75 centimeter drainage of the ground on a place where used to be a big lake, in the big port in the eastern part of the lake. The ground going down shows desertification. There is no management for water resources around. In Nedai Urumiye magazine, we recently saw pictures of the Urumiye lake that show that the bed of the Urumiye lake that has 10 billion ton of salt after the complete draining out of the lake is looking like deserts that you can only find the caviar, forming of such hills that in the medium term can bury the houses in villages, has happened sooner than what the experts had predicted before. The draining out of the Lake Urumi had changed the environmental face of the region. It doesn't only lead to the increase in the air, but it adds to the diseases in the region. The draining out of the Lake Urumie, the biggest lake in the Middle East, will be a huge catastrophe. It will lead to huge emigrations. The lake is discussed a lot, unfortunately, but nothing practical is done about it. The catastrophe of draining out of the Urumia lake happened because all the rivers that lead to the lake were dammed and the water was not allowed to come to the lake. And now there is no strategy to open it up other than breaking these dams. Otherwise, I want to thank everybody there.